Hi everyone, happy Monday. Days blur together when you're not working, like I am, which I'm really thankful for. But I thought I would give you a little update on how I'm doing and how things are going. So I am just about two-thirds of the way done. Once the next recovery week is over, I'll be officially two-thirds of the way finished with chemo. Lord willing that I only have to do these 6 rounds. This recovery period has been a lot more challenging than the other ones and has made me really thankful that I have not had to say that up until this point. I know after round 1 was pretty rough. I was just looking back at videos that I made in the beginning of all of this and thinking, like, this journey has looked so different than I anticipated it looking, and I'm really, really thankful for that. So this week though has been more difficult. I haven't been sleeping well, and so the kind of like fatigue and weakness that usually was just the first 2 or 3 days afterwards has kind of lasted the whole week. And I started feeling better yesterday, so I think I'm on the upswing with that, but it kind of feels like someone took a baster into my muscles and tendons and just pulled out all of their like elasticity and strength, or that my brain's not communicating with my muscles and telling them what to do. And an example is like we have one step that goes down into the garage, and there have been a couple of times when I've taken that step down and my knees have like almost buckled because my muscles just, they're not paying attention, they're not awake, or they're deteriorating. I don't know what, I mean, it's probably a combination of all of those things, but that's been harder this week. And then in the last couple days, I've started having some extremely unpleasant things going on, which I won't go into detail about, which tells you that it's one of those TMI things. But one of the non-TMI things is my tongue is really agitated, and it's getting better today, but the last couple days, like the back of it has been really swollen, and the parts where it like connects to the bottom of my mouth has been really tight and irritated. And you don't really realize how much you use your tongue until you can't really use your tongue. Like moving food around to chew is super painful. So I am just doing liquids now. I made like this Southwestern bean soup last night, and then I put it in the blender and pureed it. And it actually turned out really well. So I'm really thankful for that because that'll be a good source of protein. And then I just finished my keto breakfast. Lunch with the bean soup will not be keto, but this has like hemp hearts blended into it with MCT oil and full fat coconut milk and vanilla and collagen and coconut butter and all kinds of stuff, and it's pretty tasty. So yeah, if you want specific things to pray for, you can continue to pray for my mucosal flora, specifically as it pertains to my mouth, is what I can publicly share with you, because my tongue hurts and I don't like that. So, I mean, no one would like that. It's not the funnest. And solid food is like a pretty fun thing. Mike brought me a piece of bacon in bed this morning that my parents had made, and I took only one bite of it, and then I was like, I can't do this. And that's a lot. If I'm saying that I can't eat bacon because my tongue hurts, that's really saying something. So anyway, if you can pray for just some of those like more, it's like these more acute pain issues that are going on right now. And I think that this is probably how a lot of people feel from the beginning. And so again, I'm so thankful that I have made it through 4 rounds without having a lot of really big issues. So I'm super thankful for that. And also this week we have received an amazing, amazing amount of generosity from some of you in this group, and I was in tears to my parents just saying, like, I cannot believe how well we've been taken care of in this season. that is really hard otherwise. But thank you for caring so well for us. Mike and I are so blessed that we're not having to be stressed or worried about finances right now. And that is such a common stressor when people are going through cancer. And even saying that out loud, I still cannot believe that this is happening. There have been some days this week in particular that it's just hit me that like this is really a serious thing. And I got back onto Facebook, and so was back on my Gray Zone Lymphoma Survivors page, and people are really sick and getting stem cell transplants. And one woman's son just died from Gray Zone, and seeing that was really sobering for me. That this is a really big deal, and the fact that like the Lord has protected me this much is a really big deal, and that He's protected me and spared me from some of the more unpleasant side effects is huge and something to really be so thankful for. I think that it's easy for me to not identify as a cancer patient or like already a cancer survivor, because there are so many people that are a lot more sick than I am, and not just with the cancer part, but like with the effect that chemo has had on them has been way worse. And I have wrestled a lot with the label of survivor and feeling like a lot of times feeling like I am not going to deserve that label because I haven't been throwing up or I haven't been sleeping all day and all night or whatever. But this week has been just a big reminder that what I'm going through right now and the mountain that I'm climbing is not a molehill. This is a mountain, and it is going to be a really miraculous thing if and when the Lord heals me, and if and when I go into remission, and something that is so huge to be celebrated. And Mike and I were praying the other night, and I just said, Lord, I want to share this with thousands of people. I want to be able to talk about the way that you've healed me and the way that you've provided for us and spared me from what could have been so much worse. And for those of you who haven't watched my other videos, or the rate that my cancer was growing was like one of almost as fast as it can possibly grow, like a 90 out of 100 on this particular scale. Man, I'm like Sniffles McGee over here now. But God doesn't care about numbers, and He doesn't care about statistics, and I'm being reminded of that over and over again. And my uncle sent me a thing that he had posted on Facebook, and it was about Jesus feeding the 5,000 and how when they found the boy with the loaves and the fish, Jesus just told the disciples, like, just sit down and have everyone sit down. And how I've thought about that story a lot over the years, and thinking about how like what we bring to the table in life is so meager. Like no matter if we're bringing our best or not, it's so small. And God does really big things with it. And sometimes we just need to sit our butts down and let Him work it out and do what He's going to do. So that's just been like something that I've been really trying to do, because as a person who's a go-getter and take charge and what's the problem, let's solve it, like sitting down and being still and saying, okay, God, I trust you, and this is not all up to me, is not a natural instinct of mine. I don't think it's a natural instinct of anybody's, to be honest. But that's definitely not a natural instinct of mine. And so I'm trying to do that more. And it's easier to do that when I'm just feeling too tired to do any of the go-getter kinds of things. So I've just been thinking about that a lot, and just inviting the Lord into this more, because it's not up to me, and I have an active role, and I'm the, co-captain of my care team, but it's not all up to me, and I can do everything under the sun. And if I'm not trusting the Lord with this process, then my anxiety level is going to be totally through the roof. And that's not helpful. It's not productive. It doesn't lead to anything good. So yeah, that's been a big thing. A lot of my heart just feels really tender right now, as you can see, to just the gravity of all of this, and the way that God is working, and being in church yesterday and hearing about, or singing about rather, just who God is, and He's good, and this doesn't change that. And yeah, there's this interesting part of me that feels like totally broken open in a really good and beautiful way, because of this dichotomy that's going on of like, I have cancer and cancer sucks and all of this stuff, but like God is still good. And there's a song that I've listened to a ton that is called King of My Heart, and the rendition that's sung by the Bethel worship team, one of the lead singers, Stephanie, goes off into this kind of spontaneous worship thing, and she starts singing He Never Falls Off of His Throne. And I've thought about that so much, that He doesn't fall off of His throne, and He never will. That is not going to happen. And He's never changing, and is a healer, and is good, and those things aren't going to change. They don't change with circumstance, no matter how good or bad the circumstances are. God doesn't become more good or less good. So I'm just focusing on that and celebrating that. Another thing I've been musing on is, as you can see, I've been losing my eyelashes and losing my eyebrows, and that's been really hard. You never realize how much value you place on physical appearance until your physical appearance starts changing without your okay. I wasn't like, oh yeah, eyelashes, go ahead and fall out. Eyebrows, I don't need you anyway. And that has been, I think, a new level of reality in all of this, because before I still had nice long eyelashes and my eyebrows were fully in, and it was like, yeah, I don't have hair on my head, but I could put a scarf on and still look like pretty normal. And even now, putting a scarf on my head, like, I look more like a cancer patient, and I can't avoid that reality. And there are a lot of mirrors in this house. Like, in Mike's in my room, there's 3 sliding mirrors, full-length mirrors on our closet door, and that has been a challenge. So my sweet and wonderful husband has put Post-its all over my part of the mirror in our bathroom that is like right where my line of shot is, that are just really sweet and encouraging and complimentary and wonderful. And I also did buy some butcher paper at Michael's, because I'm going to cover it, which is what I did with my junior high campers when I counseled at Ponderosa way back when, that were so obsessed with what they looked like, and spending way too much time on it that was driving me bananas. Plus, I'm more granola-y, camp. Like, why are you even bothering to put makeup on? But I covered that up, and I'm going to do that for myself also, and write things on that paper that are about truth, and that are about life, and the things that my body is still capable of doing, even though it has limitations right now. So I'm excited about doing that. I haven't actually had the energy to do that this week, but I think today could be the day because I'm on the upswing of energy. And Mike and I are going to Big Bear this week. We're leaving tomorrow. Coming back on Friday for just a few days away at a friend's cabin, which we're really looking forward to. And there's going to be snow up there, so that's fun. I need to make a new head hugger today because my noggin is going to be super cold. But yeah, that's what we've got going on the horizon, and we still so need and appreciate your prayers for the specific things of mucosal flora and my tongue and the other unpleasant things that are going on in my body, and for just continued peace and trust in this season for both of us, and for unification of our relationship and marriage. And this is the time when Satan wants to attack us and when we're freaking weak. Let's be real. Like, this is not the time in life when we're feeling at our best and feeling like we can combat the spiritual warfare that's coming our way. Like, we're tired and there's a lot of kind of beatdown that's going on. So we just really appreciate your prayers for that. And again, are so thankful for the way that you guys have supported us financially. I'm looking at checks on the counter that I need to deposit right now, just thinking like, oh, you guys are amazing. You're amazing. I'm so thankful. Anywho, this is a long one. If you made it to the end, you are good. I will talk to you soon, and love you all so much.